In a stunning display of political confrontation, former Vice President Kamala Harris has openly condemned the indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James, calling it a blatant example of political vengeance during a turbulent book promotion event in the nation's capital. But here's where it gets controversial. Harris didn't just stop at criticism. She exposed what she claims is a deeply flawed justice system being manipulated for political retribution. During her second appearance in Washington, D.C. on Thursday, Harris, who was promoting her book about the 2024 presidential campaign, shared with the audience her dismay upon learning about James' indictment. "I was informed today that the Attorney General of New York has been formally charged," Harris stated emphatically. What makes this particularly troubling is that the initial prosecutor on this case, reportedly a conservative Republican, who likely holds no political affinity for either of us, determined there wasn't sufficient evidence to move forward. Drawing from her own extensive experience as both San Francisco's district attorney and California's attorney general, Harris didn't mince words when addressing what she perceives as the Trump administration's problematic approach to the Justice Department. She specifically called out US Attorney Lindsey Halligan, Trump's former personal attorney, who now holds a position of power and has brought charges against both James and former FBI Director James Comey. Trump has strategically placed individuals lacking proper qualifications to execute his personal vendetta agenda. Harris asserted passionately, "Consider the implications. The Attorney General of New York, an elected official, now faces criminal charges despite a previous prosecutor's determination that evidence was inadequate. This isn't about justice, it's about intimidation." For those unfamiliar with the context, James was indicted earlier Thursday in Alexandria, Virginia. This development represents what critics describe as a concerning pattern of Trump's Justice Department targeting political adversaries. James, who notably secured a civil fraud judgment against Trump in 2022, has reportedly been under investigation since May regarding allegations of mortgage fraud, charges many legal experts view with skepticism. Harris's D.C. appearance was far from smooth, as demonstrators repeatedly interrupted her remarks. On 5 separate occasions, protesters rose from the audience to voice their opposition to Israel's military operations in Gaza. One particularly vocal demonstrator shouted, "Your legacy is genocide," creating a moment of palpable tension. By the third interruption, Harris's frustration became evident. "You should understand that I am not currently serving as President of the United States," she responded directly to a protester. She later added, with visible exasperation, "If you have concerns about current policy, perhaps you should direct them to the White House and speak with President Trump." But the former vice president didn't limit her criticism to just the Justice Department. She also spoke forcefully against the administration's aggressive approach to immigration enforcement and the deployment of the National Guard to major metropolitan areas, including Chicago and Los Angeles. "I'm scheduled to travel to Chicago tomorrow, where they're positioning Black Hawk helicopters, military aircraft designed for combat against foreign adversaries, within an American city," Harris explained with concern. "This represents more than just law enforcement. It's about instilling fear in communities by introducing military equipment onto our streets." And this is the part most people miss. Harris's remarks came against the backdrop of an ongoing government shutdown, with federal employees bracing for yet another round of significant layoffs. In a message of solidarity, she encouraged civil servants to remain in their positions despite the challenging circumstances. "I urge you to persevere in your roles," Harris stated with conviction. "When this turbulent period concludes, there will be substantial damage that needs repair. I encourage you to remain steadfast, recognizing that you're performing noble work that matters deeply to our nation." Despite what this administration might suggest about you and your colleagues, your service is essential. What do you think about Harris's characterization of these events? Do you believe the indictment of Letitia James represents legitimate law enforcement or political retaliation? And should former officials like Harris be speaking out so forcefully against current administration policies? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We're interested in hearing both agreement and dissenting viewpoints on these controversial developments.